Hey guys, come on, Hero. Come on, baby. Oh, look at him go. Come on, Hero, over here, buddy. Look. Come on, Hero, over here. Come on, buddy. I have something I want to show y'all. Look at him. Look at him, guys. He has energy again right there, baby. There you go. Let's get this big old weird chunk out of the way. Oh, look at him go. Oh, my good boy. Look at Hero, guys. Y'all seen him do a little bit of a trot. I know it may not seem like much, but if you've seen the video that I made earlier, you would know that this is a really, really, really good sign. Oh, my sweet baby. If you saw my last video, you know that he wasn't feeling good. He was off sitting in the corner, just looking like he was so miserable. But right now, you know, he's eating. You see him do a little bit of an excited trot to come get the food. And those are all wonderful, wonderful signs. Oh, I love to see it. I'm so proud of him. I'm so glad he's feeling better. Now, where I left, oh gosh, Tilly coming in like a bull in a china shop. Oh, look at Hero. He's licking his chops. He got some good food. You feeling better, baby? Yeah, look at him. He's walking around. He's active. He's alert. He's following me around. Just look at him. This right here is complete. Let me watch. I start running. He starts taking off with me. Look at him, guys. Look at him. My little Hero is so active. He's feeling better. Oh, that's so good. It's only been a few hours, you guys. It was like 9 o'clock this morning when I made that first video of him feeling miserable. We're at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon right now, 5 p.m. So it's been 8 hours. Sorry, there's nothing in there, you guys. I already fed y'all so much. Can't overfeed you now. But man, in 8 hours, look how big of a difference it's been for the good boy. Man, oh man. Anyways, one thing I left off with in the last video is that I told you we were going to go to the vet. They didn't have any appointments today, but they said that what we could do is if we could get a sample of Hero's feces, then we could bring it into them and then they could analyze it in their lab under their microscope or whatever and tell us what they find. So that's exactly what we did. I found a big old wad of hay that Hero had diarrheaed on in the barn. So I just got that. I put it in a Ziploc bag and I drove it on over to Big Thicket. Meg came with me, and when we were there, the vets finished their appointments they already had. They went and had a look at it, and what they found, it sounds really bad, and I'm not diminishing it. I know it's a big deal, and trust me, we're doing something about it. But you know, just seeing the way Hero was just running around a second ago just makes me feel so much better about whatever they could have possibly diagnosed him with. Seeing him being alert and being active, and so I feel really confident. I know for a fact the prayers are working, and that Hero's healing up, and that he's doing well. He's getting better. I mean, it's blatantly obvious he's getting better. But anyways, let me tell y'all what the vet told me. So they came out and they said that they started with this. They said that animals, you know, like goats, like donkeys, any animal that eats grass or just eats off of the ground in general, they're naturally going to have a little bit of, you know, bacteria, a little bit of worms, a little bit of different eggs and different things inside of them. That's inevitable from animals that eat off the ground. It's just the way it goes. Now, the exact number that they can tolerate healthily, you know, where they're considered not sick, is up to 250 eggs per gram. That's the exact number that he said, is that anything 250 eggs per gram or less is not really a big deal. It's the same thing as how humans have like a little tiny bit of bacteria in our bodies, it's just from living, but our body can fight that bacteria effortlessly. Once you get a little bit above 250 eggs per gram though, that's when you start to see problems. It's when you start having diarrhea. That's when your goat starts getting sick, starting to have tummy aches, starts to, you know, have whatever, starts to get a little bit anemic, starts to have whatever problem that comes with said worm or bacteria. And when he analyzed Hero's feces, he said that they found traces of two different worms and coccidia. So there were 3 different things in Hero's feces, and that really didn't sound good to us. He said that one of the worms had about 1,600 eggs per gram, I think, which is that'd be maybe 6 to 8 times as much as he's supposed to have, and the coccidia was awful. Here he said that Hero had 8,000 parts per gram, or 8,000 eggs per gram of coccidia. That's like 32 times as much as he should healthily be able to handle without being sick, for any of you that are into math. And so yeah, 8,000 eggs per gram sounds awful, but he didn't seem too concerned like it was fatal or life-threatening or anything like that. Of course, all these things, like even a human with the flu or with pneumonia or something like that, if you like don't take care of yourself and you don't try to get rid of it the proper way, try to treat it with antibiotics and whatnot, then of course you always run the risk of something being life-threatening or being much bigger than it has to be. But under the assumption that you give the right medicines and assumptions you take care of yourself and all those things, then it shouldn't be fatal or anything like that. Shouldn't be too debilitating. And so I know that he probably figured that the fact that we were there with a feces sample means that we're going to take really good care of our baby. We're not just going to let it be up to, just let him live or die without trying to help him, of course. And so he didn't seem too worried. And he basically said that the coccidia is a little bit different than the worms. The worms are like a well-known bacteria, a well-known organism. So you can use your ivermectin, you can use your regular dewormers to try to handle any of those things. But coccidia is not as well understood by vets and just by medical professionals and stuff like that. It's kind of a mystery. I think he classified them as protists, technically, kind of like protozoa, but they're really hard to tell. So you don't use your typical dewormer to get rid of coccidia. He gave us this medication called like Corid, C-O-R-I-D, and he gave us dewormers for the other two worms and Corid for the coccidia. And so me, Meg, and her sister Rika is actually right over there with Meg. Sister Rika came and helped us out deworming all the goats, and it was real interesting. I'm gonna show a few clips in a moment of kind of how the whole process went. But in the past, all of our vets have recommended that every 3 or 4 months, every season change about, you worm your entire herd. That's just kind of standard procedure. I'm sure you've all heard it. You've seen us do it around here many times. But this time, they advised us a little differently. They said that just in the vet community, just with agriculture and farm animals all around the country, they've been noticing more and more cases of the farm animals not doing as well with the typical the wormers, the ivermectin, I forget what the other one's called. They don't do as well with those other wormers as they used to. And the reason why is the worms themselves, the bacteria, are adapting. That's kind of how natural selection works, for those of you that aren't really into biology and stuff like that, is the treatment, the wormer will kill the majority of the bacteria, but there almost always is a few left surviving. There's always a few bacteria that survive. And so the bacteria that do make it out, that do survive, they get a little bit stronger and they kind of get a little more resistant to, the whatever wormer it is. And then when you do it again, maybe more bacteria die out, but the ones that survive that get even more resistance. And so, every time you do it, you're subsequently killing more bacteria, but the ones that survive are building up more and more resistance until and they're repopulating, they're multiplying until at some point you have a whole entire thing of bacteria inside of your goat that no longer is affected by said wormer. And then at that point you got to change to a different chemical to start the process all over again, or you got to find a different way to make it work. That's natural selection. That's survival of the fittest, basic biology. It's the way it goes with all animal species. They adapt, they respond to stimuli. And so basically, I know that's a lot of rambling, I'm sorry if that complicates things, but essentially she said that to kind of slow down the rate at which these bacteria, this coccidia, or these worms build resistance, you shouldn't worm every 3 or 4 months anymore. I think it'd be best if you just worm on a basis of who needs it. So she told us to come home, see if any of the goats were exhibiting symptoms like Hero, and just worm those goats, and just keep your wormer ready for until maybe you see any others that start getting sick too, or if they start exhibiting symptoms. You don't want to wait till they get too sick, obviously. We all know that. And so we've only had 3 goats that even had a little bit of diarrhea. Hero was the only one that looked miserable the way he was, but Bambi and Pickles also were exhibiting a little bit of diarrhea. So we went ahead and wormed them too. The coccidia we gave to everybody. I think Meg explains it a little bit better in the clips I'm about to show you. But long story short, guys, I know I'm rambling and talking a lot, but I just wanted to be thorough and explain everything that the vets told us. And I still feel like I'm forgetting something. Did I mention everything? I mentioned the 3 treatments. Yeah, I mentioned the 3 treatments. We already did all that. I'm going to put the clips here in a second. I mentioned that Hero had like 8,000 eggs per gram of coccidia, which is
why it happened.
Oh, I forgot. That's the part I forgot, is the why.
Because when you say there's 8,000 eggs, it almost makes us seem like negligent.
No, bacteria are like in the trillions and quadrillions. So 8,000 in the grand scheme of things, yeah, it'll make your goat sick, but it's not like, it's not a matter. I know it sounds like a big number, but
the rough one. Coccidia.
Yeah, it's inevitable. But Hero's already, they seen him running around eating and stuff, so he's doing a lot better. And he was doing better even before we wormed him. So I think that yesterday was the really bad day, and he's just kind of naturally, you know, his immune system's strong and he's naturally overcoming it, you know. But that's a good point that Meg brought up, the why, or the how it happened, and the what we can do to prevent this going forward. A few years back, I forgot what summer it was. There was one summer where everybody here got coccidia. So we've had this happen before. And I wasn't coming to the sanctuary a whole lot back then, but I remember that I remember that it was a legitimate concern that many or all the goats were going to die. Like, it was really, really bad. Everybody was around here looking really sick. And so thankfully right now, Hero's the only one that has looked sick at all, and he's even getting better. So I feel like we're not as bad off as it was back in 2020 or whatever year it was. But we have had it happen before, and we want to know the best way possible to prevent it from ever happening again once we get past this little spell of coccidia. And the vet told us that a really good way, something that a lot of people that farm for a living, a lot of professionals or whatever you want to call it, that agriculture people do to keep the animals from getting sick, or to make it less likely that worms or bacteria will get inside their immune system, is to do, what do they call it? Pasture rotation, something like that. Pasture rotation's the word.
A lot of people have 4 pastures.
Yeah.
And then each season they change the pasture. That's
So,
why I always say you worm at the 4 seasons, because you're worming, because you're mimicking that pasture rotation.
Yeah, you're keeping everything like on a consistent schedule, a consistent cycle. Now, pasture rotation is self-explanatory. You rotate your animals from one pasture during like maybe a few months there, and during let's just pretend hypothetically that we had all of our animals only in that pasture where the barn's at over there. Obviously, that would never be reality because there's not nearly enough space over there. But just for the, you know, just to explain it, if they were eating off the grass over there, that would give the grass right here time to grow without being eaten, and then it would give the grass in the pond pasture time to grow. And so then let's say in 3 or 4 months, all that grass is fully eaten. We move them to this pasture right here. We do our wormer or whatever. And then for the next 3 months, that grass will grow even more. And then that one will start to grow back. And then maybe 3 or 4 months after that, we move them from this pasture to that one. And then that one, which is fully grown, while this one should be fully sprouting up, and while this one could kind of recover and grow back. So that's the concept of pasture rotation. You don't want your animals eating too much off of the, you know, we're really low on grass. Let me get down here. You can see that the grass is not very high. You can see a lot of the ground, a lot of the dirt and stuff, and that's where these bacteria lives. And so that's something that we can definitely do better about in the future, is trying to make sure that we have higher grass for them to eat on.
That's something that's going to happen no matter who you are. It literally doesn't matter. It is in every single pasture.
Well, like he said, it's inevitable that they're going to have some, because like the fact that he even said that 250 and below is normal means that they're going to get some bacteria no matter what.
Yeah.
And so it's nothing, and so there's no way to avoid that. But we can set our animals up for success the best way possible by making sure that they're eating as much high grass as possible. And so I talked with my dad and with Jamie, and we kind of made a plan. And that, you see old Rita over there and Stormy, they are planning on moving them pretty soon anyways to a different location. And when they do that, it'll open up a lot of space in that pasture. Let's come over here and have a look. There's a lot of green grass over here. It's a lot higher too. So whenever that happens, this will give us a really good chance to let the grass over here kind of come back and grow a little bit higher while we let the goats be in that pasture with the high, tall grass. At nighttime, obviously, we'll let them back over here to sleep in their barn. But then during the daytime, perhaps we could just kind of, rinse and repeat the cycle. And so definitely looking into doing some more pasture rotation in the future. People have mentioned it before in videos about, not eating off of the ground. And so there will be a few that say, I told you so, or might want to be judgy, but I don't have much to say.
No, hold on. Can I interrupt you?
Okay.
Sorry. Rika wanted me to tell you this too.
Is she here?
No, she just left.
Oh.
She's got to do Thanksgiving prep.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So she wanted me to tell you that even they are using coccidia treatment as a preventative right now. Well, they had some stuff go on with their herds, so they're doing treatments and stuff for different things, but they use it. They have more control of their water than we do because we have so many animals with different needs and different heights. We can't put the Corid treatment, which is for the coccidia, which is from the ground,
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that in our waters. We just can't. We would not be able to make sure that everybody drank enough. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can do it in chickens because chickens will drink the whole thing all day. Point is, they have a kiddie pool that everybody drinks from, and they're all getting their Corid treatment from that.
Yeah.
So it is so common. It's not you. If anybody's gonna say I told you so, I would have to say you come try and do this, and you try to keep a healthy herd all the time.
No, it is true. I'm really proud of us. And in 5 months, in our first 5 months as two 23-year-olds, we've only had one loss that
We can control.
I'm not even gonna say we could control it because that was like a complete fluke that caught us off guard. The whole thing with Champ, but it's like one loss that maybe we could do something different to prevent it again and stuff like that. Feathered animals kind of drop like flies sometimes with different things, and so I'm not really counting those. I'm talking about like our herd, our main pasture animals and stuff like that. We've had one loss in 5 months, and I intend.
Not all us either. We were set up. You have to acknowledge we were set up really nicely, and we're still not doing it completely alone. But
No, we definitely have our fair share of help, but I'm just saying that the sanctuary is being well taken care of and well run, and so. But no, you can see the grass is much higher over here. Yeah, you look right here on the ground. This is going to be some good grass for them to eat. In the meantime, yeah, we actually planted some seed, and I'm hoping that we can get it to sprout or germinate before the guineas get a hold of it. We're trying to be strategic about planting it, when it rains, because the guineas aren't going to want to come out during the rain and try to eat all that seed. And so, no, we have plans going forward of different things we're going to do. But no, I don't want to see any hypocrisy in the comment section. There's people saying, I told you so, or you should have done this and this, or you're doing it all wrong. But I'm sure the same people have gotten food poisoning from eating at a bad place that they didn't scope out very good before. Or, it's the same thing as someone who like gets fast food or something like that. I'm sure, and we're humans. We're not perfect. I would never judge anybody for getting fast food. I eat fast food. But don't judge me because I made a little bit of a mistake with the animals, because it's the equivalent of maybe having a little too much food near the ground level. Maybe a little innocent mistake is probably the equivalent of somebody developing high cholesterol or something because of eating too much fast food or something.
And so they were really quick to jump.
And so if you're I know. So if there's anybody out there who, I don't know, has never eaten fast food in their lives before, or who is in perfect health, who has not a single health complication that's out of their control, if you have all the perfect health habits, if you've never been to the doctor before, if you've never panicked or ever overdiagnosed something, then go ahead and judge me. I give you permission to judge me, and I will not blame you. But anybody who's perfect, go ahead and judge me. But if you fall into any one of those categories or any other similar category of being a human and maybe not thinking something through perfectly, then I suggest look in the mirror before you type your comment. Oh no, I don't want to.
Ooh, spicy today.
No, I had
Be
to.
outside,
I don't want to give too much
little
attention to. I
spicy.
don't want to give too much attention to all that. But at the same time, like it is true. Like there's no reason to see all that. It's unnecessary and just puts everyone in a foul mood. And we were at the vet. We did a good job today. We wormed all these goats. I'm about to show you the clips of it. The video's not even done. This is just me. This is a 20-minute prelude to what I was going to show you.
Did you even talk about like I feel like maybe I'll talk about it on my live tonight, but did you even talk about like how getting vet appointments for livestock works?
No, I didn't. You can talk about that real quick.
So
for anybody who thinks that we're not urgent enough or whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. A lot of people that normally comment, y'all are doing so great, and this isn't everybody, but there were some, I remember names, that are like, y'all do so amazing, you care so much. You turn around what happened with Tilly, and then what you posted this morning, people are like, why isn't he being urgent enough? Why isn't he this, and this? Okay, first of all, you were on the phone with the vet before you even started videoing.
There were a few people that said, sorry, I commented prematurely, because at the end of the video I did talk about the vet, and so at least I appreciated that.
But not even that.
That's
even
true.
with the Tilly thing, I was sitting there and I was like, okay, this still ticks me off because people don't understand how it works, and maybe they do and they just don't care. But out here in the middle of nowhere, I mean, we're not in the middle of nowhere, but we're not.
Our nearest vets aren't close.
No, it's like 20 minutes each way, if that. And
more. I think.
And we're lucky that those are they can see livestock, you know. And so when you have livestock, a lot of times you want farm visits. Or you have to plan those visits like you would any other appointment, because it's not just like, yep, let me bring my goat in. No, the vets have to be prepared, you know? And so on a Friday at 5:30, when you see that Tilly's not feeling good, what can you do for the vets that are around us that are closed Friday at 5, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then you can't even call until 8 o'clock on Monday, which, by the way, on Monday they had no appointments available because I was trying to get an animal in that Monday too. So there's my piece. It's not quick, it's not easy, unless you've had a livestock animal that you're trying to get into a vet. It's just how it works. That's why you have to have a lot of the medicines on hand. But you can't anymore because you can't get a hold of antibiotics anymore. But that's a whole other conversation that...
How many of you have gone to a doctor's appointment recently? And how many of you have got in the exact day that you called or the exact day that you tried?
That never happens unless it's an emergency.
And even that's the ER. And how long did you have to wait in the ER before they saw you?
And that's
how long are you in the room by yourself?
That's true, and that's another thing.
Before any doctor sees you.
If you're not around, so you can look at your child and go, okay, based on their temperature, based on this, and this, they're stable. If I took them to the ER right now, they're not going to see me for another 4 hours because they're going to see the kid with the broken arm. They're going to see the person who went through a very big trauma. We're not going to get seen forever.
That's absolutely true. Because, yeah, if they seen Tilly right then, they'd be like, okay, she coughed once, or she's a little chubby. All right, we'll see her after we finish with the emergency surgery, or I guess they don't do surgeries every day, but after we finish with the Hero today, was definitely...
They couldn't see him.
They couldn't even see him. And that right there is a legitimate emergency or something serious. And even then, they couldn't see him. I had to go in and deliver his poop to the vet. How crazy is that?
The only time I have had, like, special privileges with getting an emergency goat in was Honeydew. Because whatever was wrong with her, she wasn't eating. With Elvis, who was blind, but his sister was also paralyzed, so they took paralyzed. And then we had another goat that got picked up by a hawk and dropped. Romeo, he actually survived. Yeah, that was the only emergency time I've got.
Maybe it'd be a good investment for us. It's something I thought about as part of the sanctuary to kind of get an established on-call vet that we call at any given moment, and they come out. We had one that could, I'm not going to get into too much detail because I don't think it's my place to say. We had a situation like that where sometimes, or when possible, they were able to come out and see the animals. Farm calls, possibly, but even that has changed for reasons I'm not going to get into. That's no longer,
right now,
it's no longer a possibility anymore.
They don't offer that service right now.
Exactly, and so we'd have to find that elsewhere. So it's not always as easy as it sounds. But I don't want to make this video too much about addressing the haters, because that's all it is.
I do feel like it's important because some people genuinely don't know. I've came across so many things that
It's true. Oh, Ziggy.
I thought I would laugh when he does this, but now I just kind of watch him running about and I'm like, What are you doing? No, but some people genuinely don't know these things because they have cats and dogs, you know? Or rabbits. Did you know that rabbits cannot always be seen by your regular dog and cat vet? A lot of times you have to take them to a specialist who will see small mammals. Like, you don't know these things. I didn't know that until we got rabbits.
Yeah, I guess that's true. There are. I'm sorry if I sound harsh or if I sound mean for anybody that just is genuinely concerned or cares for the animals, but I feel like I could smell attitude pretty good whenever I read the comments, and so there's a lot of people. This is not for everybody. If you're someone who's concerned or even like respectfully disagrees or thinks that I'm doing something wrong, I've learned a lot from constructive criticism.
I was gonna say that. Constructive criticism.
I've learned a lot from people saying that, Ellie, I don't think this is a good idea because this and this. You should probably do this, or I would do this. There's a lot of comments like that on today's video, and I respect all those things. But there's the stench of attitude sometimes is something that I do see as well.
It hurts because I mean, like our whole day, what has our whole day been? We maybe got a 30-minute nap in after being exhausted. It's been 9 to now, you know? Yeah. No, yeah, if you're somebody who, you know, genuinely cares and is concerned and loves the animals, don't think this is about you. I think they know. Those who know, know.
But
those who know, know.
But get some deodorant if you have the nasty stench of attitude. I don't know.
He's feeling spicy today.
We went for 26 minutes and we haven't even gotten into the substance of this video,
oh my gosh,
which is supposed to be the whole worming process.
People are gonna love this video. It's gonna take you forever to upload.
Yeah, people ask for longer videos, so.
Hey, this might have to be a tomorrow thing. I don't know if you're gonna get that uploaded.
Oh, I'm not worried about time. Today's obviously a different day. Normally I upload my usual between 3 and 5 p.m. video, but this is obviously a special circumstance, so if it goes out at 11 o'clock, that's fine.
Oh my gosh, 11 o'clock.
Wait, today's the day before Thanksgiving, so surely nobody works tomorrow anyways. Not many people.
They're working at home.
Not
right
many
now,
people.
Cooking.
They can play it on their AirPods while they're cooking or whatever. You know, have a good little, like it'll be like a podcast almost.
I feel like people would burn their cooking watching you walk around with some animals.
Oh man. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the content of this video. All right, guys, so here we are. We're ready to deworm and decoccidify. I don't even know how you would say that. Not old Ziggy, of course. He don't need none of that treatment. He's a bird. I guess his body works differently. Birds can get coccidia though. You had some chickens that got some before, right? Mm-hmm. But anyways, that's all besides the point. This here is called Corid, and we use this to treat coccidia because the vet told us that.
I was gonna say, because the vet told us to.
Well, I mean, yeah, technically, but they explained why. Our vets are really good and they're really thorough. Basically, coccidia is like a protist. It's a different kind of organism, kind of like a protozoa. Oh my gosh, please.
Oh no.
I don't know what's going on.
I think it's the weather change.
I picked up Miss Pickles to see her weight, and
wait, hold on. Why is
she's still out.
She's so.
I know.
They've been fainting like for extra long, and poor Oki's like.
It must be
so
the it must be the weather change.
What the heck?
Because it just got really cold really quick. Oh.
Come on, Lulu. Okie dokie. You okay?
You stop it, Okie.
You silly goats.
Okay.
Man, everything.
Oh, here's Hero.
Oh gosh, not this again. That Okie is trouble, you guys. That is a troublemaker.
Oh, that was a really cute jump. I don't think you could see that on the video, but that was cute.
Anything and everything trying to distract us. But no, coccidia is like a protozoa, a protist, whatever they called it, a little bit different of an organism than your typical worm. And so that's why it requires this to treat it. There's other dewormers that are good for different worms and whatnot. And so we have a lot of treatments that we need to go do right now.
I know that a lot of people have things to say about Corid being used. We're just going off of what the vet said.
Well, no, it's necessary for the
There are different antibiotics and different stuff, things that have resistance. So if you don't like it, this is what we're doing, and we're hoping it works. If it doesn't, we move on.
It will work. If we went to the vet and they tested Hero's feces and said they had coccidia, and this is what they give us, and this is what we're going to use.
It's like different medicines treat different things, and this will work, but it just, they might need a different medication, they might not. And some people don't like Corid for the thiamine reasons, which I'm going to give everybody a shot of B12 as well, because This can have, people see polio in goats. Remember that was a talk with Hero when he was paralyzed.
Yeah.
Because polio is paralysis, and it turns out it's not because it's polio, it's because of a thiamine deficiency. But she said everybody will be fine on cord except for the ones that already aren't feeling good, probably should get a shot of B12. Oh, Starla, come here. Okay. You gotta set this down.
Yeah, she needs to.
Yeah, I need you to hold her, yeah.
Okay.
They don't like this, it does not taste good.
All right, Starla. It's okay, baby.
All right, let's go, let's go.
Okie, don't eat her hair.
Up. You need to swallow that, honey. Yep. Come on, I still got more. You are actually... Okay, you just spit out your cud. Thank you. It stinks. That's nasty. Sterile.
All right, guys, we got one last thing to do today. We done gave the, what's it called? The Corid.
We gave Corid to everybody.
We gave Corid to everybody. And now, for any goats that seem to already be affected or have diarrhea, which is only 3, thankfully, we have to give them these 2 right here. Why don't you explain them, Levy?
So, for the worms that we have 3 types of worms, and then we have, 3 types of worms, and then coccidia. And so we treated coccidia, and now these other 3 worms, they need 2 different wormers. So Safeguard is what Safeguard and ivermectin, that's like standard worms, right? And so Safeguard is actually really great. It is a chemical wormer, so they can build up resistance to it. That's why we're not blanketing the entire herd, because you would think that's what you would do, is blanket the entire herd, but they build up a resistance. So this wasn't something we just off the wall did. This is actually what Dr. Cochran suggested. Like, even though we didn't bring Hero to her today, she sat down and talked with us about it, you know? So she actually suggested it's better to avoid resistancy to just treat when you see symptoms that are worms. So when you see the symptoms, get them to the vet, know what they are, and then treat them. Then this stuff is called Cydectin, and it says it's a drench, but you can actually put it on their bodies. Our vet said do not put it on goat bodies because goats are naturally curious and will lick it off of anybody's body before it can absorb into the skin. So we're giving it orally. It stinks. It smells like gasoline. That's why I have gloves on, because it feels like gasoline. It's like oil. We have Fig Newtons that we're taking in our pockets to help them get this down. This stuff isn't bad. I mean, to me it's gross, but it's not bad. Like ivermectin burns when it goes down. This doesn't, because ivermectin's hot. This, I have no idea what this is like going down. It's disgusting and it's thick.
Let's go.
I just realized I have another syringe in my hand.
Here, I'll hold one. Pickle's a little enough to where I shouldn't need hands. I just squeeze my legs tighter.
I would appreciate a hand on the horn.
Okay.
You can put the Fig Newton in your pocket. It's not urgent. It's just kind of a courtesy thing. Okay. Oh, it's doing that again. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you think I got something for you. Something good. This ain't good. Girl. Yep. It's some.
You really can't shoot the whole thing?
It's too thick. You don't know if they're gonna choke or not.
And I'd rather her not spit it out. There we go.
That was good.
Good job,
Okay,
Pickles.
Fig Newton. Actually, wait. Let me just.
Just get it all over with, and then...
Yeah, then give it to her. Good girl. Ready? Last one. This one's just a tiny, tiny bit, but one of the most important ones. Good. Fig Newton.
All right, Hero. Let her get to Fig Newton.
There we go.
That was cute.
More.
Yay!
And that's how it goes. We already did Hero.
Good girl.
Hero's doing a lot better, you guys.
He already looks a little cooked up.
Yeah, he does. He looked fucked up while we were doing it. I think yesterday was his bad day where he looked really sick.
I mean, that looks rough, not gonna lie, but...
That's residue from before. I cleaned off the hole so that there's nothing blockading. Alrighty guys, well with all that said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Y'all be sure to let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you guys want to see. We appreciate all the prayers, love, and support as always. I hope you all have an incredibly blessed day. And as I always say, your boy Ellie out.